and then we'll get started. I was going to try to pull up comments, but I'm not sure it's going to happen. So we'll just sit and wait and see what it'll be. But my name is Cheryl. I am the owner of Creative Rees and Flowers, also known as Creative Rees DIY and more. And I am broadcasting live from both Facebook and YouTube through Restream. I'm just checking to make sure we're actually live. Okay, we are live on Facebook. Hopefully YouTube will move up with us. But anyway, thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate everybody being here. I'm just trying to get my other electronic devices so I can hopefully find my live, and there we go. Oh, I gotta turn down the noise. Sorry, I forgot. I was even reminded. You don't need Siri on, thank you. Anyway, the first thing I want to do is bring your attention to my apron. I don't know how well you can see it, but this apron was made by my business partner, and you can get them at C's, B's, Rees, and Decors. And I had my dog put on here. She can do any picture that you send her. You can have your logo, you can have your pets, you can have your kids, you can have whatever you want put on it. And on mine, down on the pocket, she put my business name, Creative Rees and Flowers. You can also have it, I'm pretty sure she can put it around your logo if you want your logo on. Just go over and check out her site, and that's CB's Rees and Decor with an S. So, again, thank you for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I do not know where I am on Facebook, but anyway. So tonight, I'm going to stick like with everybody else. I'm going to do a patriotic theme. I showed you all the blank. And what will this be? Well, I made the blank, and it was inspired by a picture I painted for my husband. He loves eagles. So I painted Michael this eagle, and I thought, now that would look pretty great as a blank. However, I needed more than just the eagle. I wanted more. So I'm going to take this blank, and I'm going to put a waving flag behind it. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to transfer, Michael cut the blank out of MDF, 1/4 inch MDF wood, and I primed it with white. And the first thing I'm going to do is lay down my graphite paper, or we used to call it carbon paper back in the day. And I'm going to transfer this blank onto, or this, not blank, this template onto my blank. So you put your graphite paper down on your blank, shiny side down, and you can reuse graphite paper over and over and over until it just gets to the point where you can't see. So I'm making sure it's lined up. And what I like to do, I don't like, this one's kind of got messed up because someone spilled some water on it. But I like to use this little tool. I got it at the Dollar Tree. One side is kind of more pointed. They come with balls on the end. And I just like to use that other than a pencil because it keeps my blanks better for a while. So I'm just going to go over all the lines that you see on here to get my basic lines and shapes down on my blank. By the way, on YouTube, I do have a moderator, Debbie from Just Peachy Designs, is moderating over on YouTube, and my business partner, Cece, is moderating here on Facebook. I have to kind of think, so it kind of makes me kind of not talkative. But when I saw that eagle come out, and I really liked it, I decided to make the blank. And then, like I said, I decided it needed something more. So I went with the waving flag behind it. So we will end up painting the flag, of course, red, white, and blue. And then we will paint the eagle brown with its feathers and such. But first I've got to get all my lines drawn on here so I'll know where I want to paint on this. Now I do paint layered on the eagle itself, so I've already pre-started one, because when we get to a certain point it will have to dry before I can layer on the eagle, and I just don't want to sit with a blow dryer and bore you all to death, so, and make a lot of noise. So that's how I do it. Then there will be 2 or 3 of these listed in my Etsy store for purchase to attach to a wreath. And when I'm done tracing, I will go and make sure that I let you know the approximate size. I forgot to measure it before I started, of course. And I just recently started redoing my lives, so I am a bit nervous. I don't know why, but I am. I'm just checking out all my lines to make sure I've got them all. Got to do the eye. Alright. So there we go. And once again, I want to thank you all for joining me. And thank you for coming and joining us this evening. Okay. So now that we have that all traced on there, I'm going to set my blank aside. And I'm not getting comments, guys. So if you ask questions, the girls have all the answers. So ask away. They can answer your questions for you, give you links to things we want. Just going to move my graphite paper out of the way. And it's hard to see. I'll try to hold it up. But you can see I have my basic outlines on the blank. And I might not stick exactly to them, but I will be close. Gives me something to shoot for. Now, I also have tried this several different times because I like to do, you know, a couple of run-throughs. And I've learned that I'm old and shaky, so painting lines straight is not my deal. So I am going to do the red in paint pen. And I'm just using a Posca. This is, of course, I put it in Chinese, so I can't tell you. I think this is the size 3. It's 1.8 to 2.5 millimeters. But I do buy it. I bought a set of these in colors. I think there were 15 in the box. And those are listed in my Amazon Associates links that are pinned at the top of my business page on Facebook. And you can find all my favorite tools there. So we're just going to start with the red. And fill in the stripes of the flag. I'm going to try to do it neat enough that I won't have to go back over the white that I used as a base coat. And I do just use, let's see, what color, what kind of white do I have? Actually, I like the tube paints. The student level tube paints. So when I covered it with this. I just got this at Michael's. Usually I buy Artist Loft, but apparently they didn't have any. I think the tube paints have a better color view, and I'm learning how to mix the colors to make the colors I want. So I just usually buy primary colors. And all of that. And by the way, on a separate note, I do a lot of technical services. I'm into computers and I love editing videos. So I have clients that I edit videos for. I also can move them from YouTube to Facebook and Facebook to YouTube or whatever. And when I move them to YouTube, I do optimize them for the best reach view. That means putting in your description, your tags, your playlists, your end screen, and so forth. And that is all charged on an individual basis. We'd have to get together and talk, and it depends on how long your video's going, what exactly you want done. I also run a group with my business partner, Cece. It's called Owls Tech and C's Design. And we meet every Thursday for design. Right now at 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. We are just doing designs every other week. And every Friday at 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern for technical help. I can help you get your business channel started on Facebook, YouTube. I work with Etsy, Instagram, Pinterest, learning TikTok. I think I've missed a line. I might have missed 2 lines. I'll get it fixed. Anyway, that cost, it is a private group. We do it by Zoom calls. And it costs $20 a month. And you get 6 to 8 Zoom calls per month. I also can help you one-on-one. And I'm always available, usually by messenger. It may take me a little bit to message back, depending on what my schedule is. But we do have that available. Anyway, I'm trying to make sure I have the right number of stripes on my flag. There should be 7 red ones. I'm hoping I didn't mess that up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One, two, three. Might have to squish one in. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The top one's red. And I do paint the edges. I'm not going to for just the sake of time on this one. I have the edges painted on the other one. I'll show you when I'm done here. But I do paint the edges. We do not have a laser cutting machine. Michael cuts these all with a bandsaw and then sands them all. And then I get them and I paint them. I trace the blank out onto the wood. And if you ever have any requests for any certain kind of blank you would like, I have several in my shop right now. I have gnomes, I have ducks, I have a pig, I have several. I have flowers. And just, you can check me out on Etsy at Creative Reads by CR, only because Etsy doesn't give you any more numbers or spaces. Alright, I'm happy. Sometimes also red is kind of a transparent color and you have to go over. So, but it's best to wait until it dries to put on a second coat. Because if you don't, you just kind of push the paint around, you don't really get coverage. So you just kind of make yourself a mess. I hope everybody's doing well this evening and had a nice weekend. We've had some kind of crappy weather here. It's been rainy and gloomy and hot and muggy. But that's the cornfield for you. I am in Nebraska, by Omaha, right in the middle of the country. Hoping to move soon out of this state somewhere else. Thinking about Tennessee. So that'll be kind of a change for us. Hopefully we won't get the winters like we get them here. I had way too much snow last winter. I'm tired of snow, but I'm not a person for heat, so I don't want to go to Florida or Arizona. Don't mind visiting, just don't want to live there. Okay, so we've gotten all the stripes on that we need to get on. And like I said, on the finished blank that I have to paint later, I did paint all the edges. So, and just for the sake of knowing where the line is, I have my blue Posca pen, and I'm going to draw the bottom line of the blue portion of the flag. And then I'm going to switch over to using a brush, and I'm going to use Cobalt Blue. That's actually the color that the flag says the blue is. And this by Enperor, this is the prettiest blue. So I'll switch over to a brush. I'm not sure which size I'm going to use yet. Probably a larger flat tip. Or it might be a filbert tip. I like to use these brushes. They're called Addies. And I get them off of Amazon. And I love the tips on them. They're very, very good. And as my paint palette, I just use a paper plate. Well, styrofoam plate. Paper doesn't work well. Styrofoam does, and the paint doesn't seem to dry up as much. And that's good when you go into blending. I'm not going to be doing blending until later tonight or color mixing or anything like that. That'll come when we do the eagle. So I just load up my brush pretty well. And I'm just going to go around the outline of the eagle. Blue is kind of a transparent color too, so a lot of times it will also take two coats, especially when you're spreading it out. And I like the two coat look, so I will let this dry a little bit and put a second coat on. But we can just move to a different part of the blank. Oh yeah, as we do that. And I forgot to measure this, so. Let me see, I don't even know if I have my ruler around. Jeez. Talk about unprepared. Those things always just seem to walk off, I tell you. Ryder gets a hold of them, Michael gets a hold of them. And I do have my paint water here. It's not exactly clean, but it doesn't matter. And in the bottom of it, I think they call it a pod. It's like a little plastic thing that sections down into the bottom of the cup. And then it has, because I'm a pouncer when I want to clean my brush and it's not really good on the brush. So the pouncer helps me to have something to, what am I saying, rub my brush on to make me feel like I'm getting it cleaner and help me get the paint out. And I just use a paper towel. And when you take your brushes out, you want to just squish them and pull. Try to get all the water out you can. Make sure you don't leave any up by the barrel. And then for the best results, you want to lay them flat to dry. Now, I unfortunately leave a lot of mine in the water, which you shouldn't. But that happens. What can I say? Now I'm going to use, this is the artist, well, this says Artist Touch. I got this at Michael's also. It's burnt umber. I'm just going to get a little dab of that. And I'm going to paint, the eagle is actually kind of sitting on a piece of wood. Now, normally you would see talons. However, my talons look like stick figures, so I figure it's prettier without them. So he's just got his talons stuck under him. And in making an artistic judgment there, I'm going to change kind of the shape of that tail. And while I'm waiting for the blue to dry, that's why I went ahead and put the burnt umber down here. Because for my stump, I want it to dry. Because we will lay over top of it to make it look more like wood. I think that's probably dry enough. It doesn't take it very long to dry, really. You can use a heat gun or a blow dryer, but I don't like to sit and watch somebody blow dry their project, so I wouldn't subject you to something that I don't care for. So that is why we do that. I do the painting in the stages that I do. Because normally I would get the first coat on and let it dry, maybe even overnight. You see, that's what happens when you move around on wet paint. You tend to get little, I don't know if you can see it, but little spots like that real light spot down there, and that's because I tried to go over it when it was still wet. But now, for the eagle, like I said, it's a two-step process. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some zinc on these outer portions, and then I will use a medium gray for the middle. Oh, look what I did. I drug it. Doggone it. It's okay, though, because acrylic is forgiving, and you can fix if you make a mistake, just like I did. Also, an acrylic painter's best friend is the baby wipe. I want to get all of that off, all of this blue off that I just drug, as much as I can, so that when I go back over it with the white, it's not as difficult to cover. Oh. As I drop my baby wipe. I love to paint. I really like painting on canvas more than I mean, door hangers and wood don't bother me, but I truly enjoy doing canvas painting. So I may be doing some in my mixed media pad and some on some mini canvases, even a large canvas or other items. I bought some picture frames and some other items to paint on, and I also buy things, and I'm trying to teach Ryder how to paint, so that's interesting. He likes everything black is his favorite color, and he loves to mix the palettes up. So what I'm going to use next, jeez, this is Zinc by Deco Art, and it's a real, it's not black, but it's a real dark gray. So I'm just going to load my brush up, and I'm going to paint the outside wing. And also, when you see, you know, I may list this and say I have 3, none of them will be identical. I don't batch paint, and I couldn't paint another one identical to this one anyway. Now, I did go out a little over my line, but that's okay, because this is just the undercoat. We'll come back and cover that up with our colors. I'm also going to paint this outside wing, the Zinc color. I really like color mixing, though. That is so fun, to make your own colors. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed that until I started doing it. So you may see me do some of that from time to time. Don't think we really have much color mixing tonight. Maybe a little when we get to the layering portion of the eagle. And when we get to the highlights on the wood. You just never know. Kind of excited that baby white cleared up there where I accidentally drove my hand across that blue. But if that ever happens to you, you just let it dry completely, and then you can go back over it. First with white paint, then which whatever other color you want. I always recommend the white paint first because it'll hide the color better. And then coming back with the color that you would prefer. And white helps your colors stand out better also. So that's why I do the white primer coat. So now that we have the Zinc on the eagle, in the middle I'm going to use just regular gray by Craftsmart. And you can also do this, the version I did for Michael, I actually used all tube paints, and I actually mixed a version of purple to go under the head, and then burnt umber. I hate it when the paint won't come out. And I've just used this, so I know there's paint in it. Oh, good grief. There we go. Probably way too much paint, but that's okay also. So I just have this little bit in the middle here. Because on top of this, we will put our browns for the feathers, and then do his little body. But we just want the undercoat because the feathers are a layered process. I don't actually make feathers. It's more just of a paint stroke. Also, I would appreciate it if you aren't on my YouTube channel, if you could go over, hit subscribe and notifications so you know the next time I'm live. And if you are on YouTube and don't follow my Facebook, I would appreciate it if you go to my Facebook and subscribe to my Facebook and hit notifications. I am going to try to keep doing the restream on both channels, but you never know when one or the other might throw a hiccup. So, it's good to have them both. Then, Let's see. Now I'm going to use Gray Sky from DecoArt. And I'll put that on the head and on the tail where I'll be using white for the feathers. And like I said, this is all just undercoating in preparation for doing those feathers. You don't want him to have that fat of a face. That's alright, because we can go back and fix it at any time. I wish I could get my comments up. I do enjoy talking to folks. I do thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. Also, when you're on YouTube, if you could go and subscribe to C's, B's, Re's, and Decor. That's my business partner. I'd appreciate that. And also subscribe to Just Peachy Designs. That's Debbie's channel. Debbie is 4 away from her 100. And I would love it if 4 of my people would go and subscribe to her channel so we could get her over 100. We've been working towards that goal, and that would be fantastic. Alright, now the beak, just because, I don't know, I'm weird. I'm using Emperor's Gold by DecoArt Metallics. Because, I don't know, he just deserves a little shine. And this will probably take 2 coats also. Because it is kind of a transparent color. Want a little kind of point down there on the beak. Oh, mercy. I forgot to do the tail. That's the other thing too. See, you guys can't tell me when I forget something. I would have caught it, but probably not right now. And I'm just going to put another little bit of the darker gray on the gray part. I'm not happy with the coverage. And I didn't even clean my brush, just picked up some. Okay. Now, one thing I do need to do if I'm going to make his face a little smaller, I want to put a little red on that side of the beak. I always have paint falling over. I don't know if you guys paint, but if you paint, you probably have paint falling over all the time too. Also, now I'm going to use the size 3 Posca marker in black. And I'm going to do this for his eye. Hopefully I won't drag any paint. Okay. And that's pretty much the way I did this first coat on my other one that I'll be bringing out here in a moment. I want to put some more gold. And I may go back and put another coat on it after it dries better. But this, of course I can't see you because I've hit something. There we go. This is how you get your first coat on. You can always go back and change it, whatever you want to do. But this is the first coat. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this one that is, because I would leave this to dry completely, and then I would go back and paint it. So here is the one that I did previously. I may need to pull some red under that beak too. We'll just see when I'm done. But this is just like that one. I went ahead and painted all the sides. And now, we'll see if I can accomplish this fun part. Just like I did with the big eagle I made my own. I'm going to take my white in the tube. I'm going to get a blob out. And then I'm going to take, did I use it? I'm going to find a liner brush, just a little one. I'm pretty heavy-handed. I'm trying to learn not to be so heavy-handed. I think I'm just going to take this little, they don't actually, these Addies don't have numbers on them. Looks like it says a 1, but I'm thinking that's just a piece of paint I got on there. I'm just going to take a little liner brush with a little point. Going to load it up. And then what I do is to start the feathers, and I want to keep the feathers consistent with the shape of the eagle. You just want to make little lines. And we'll be coming back and filling in and doing more. Got to make sure you have plenty of paint. You don't want to push down hard. That's my problem. I seem to always push down hard. But you just want little strokes. And we'll want to layer them. And when you're done, it'll give the effects of the feathers on his head. I'm sorry if you guys hear that noise. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. My dog's snoring. Lamba seems to have snoring issues, so she must be having a good dream because those snores were really coming. So it's not me making rude noises. It's my dog snoring. We can always go back and touch up the eye if we get the feathers on him. And I made him kind of fat here too. And this is a little outside my realm probably, but I really, really liked the eagle I painted Mike, and I thought it just deserved to be on a wreath attachment. Of course, we'll have to come back and do more. White's a very, I don't want to say opaque. I always think of opaque as transparent. And the tail feathers are a little different because they're longer feathers. So you kind of want to paint them a little different. You want longer strokes. God, this is streaky. But I try real hard. I did think, I haven't seen this design anywhere else. I feel I created the blank, so I do like it a lot. Kind of made that just one blob. Oh well. We'll go back and put some accents on it. So we need to let that dry a bit. Also, we will be doing, I just need to touch up this right here. We will be putting dots on for stars. So I have the burnt umber on there, and I'm going to try to use these. I may combine them. It's Honey Brown by Deco Art and Dark Chocolate. And I want to use that on the stump. But if I do the stump, might as well get them on the palette no matter what. I was going to say if I do the stump, I'll probably end up putting my arm in it before it's dried. I have it everywhere. take this liner brush, clean it out. I'm going to move on to burnt umber for the uh, wings. And we might get out, we might take a little of the gold and highlight in there. But the wings are darker than the middle. So, and to do these, I'm just going to do like little C's. Or little smiley faces. Or it's really, there's, it ends up looking like you can't really tell, but it's amazing, hopefully if I do this right, the transformation that will come out when we're all done. And if you guys ever want to see, you know, a certain thing painted, just let me know. I'm game. Almost got the wrong color. We could mix a little of that honey brown and chocolate brown together too and use it for highlights on these wings or feathers, which are on the wings. If you could just tell my girls in the comments hello and where you're from, we'd appreciate it. I know they don't like to just sit there and watch me paint, so, I mean, I guess I don't really care, but they're looking for comments, so if you give them a shout, a little conversation. Hi, Monica. I can't, my eyes gotta get put up. I just love to paint, but it's been a very long time. Not sure how the, well, you know, here's the thing, Monica. When I paint, I do it like a lot of people say that making a wreath is their therapy. And I did wreaths, and I still have some wreaths in my shop. But Michael packed up all my stuff when we thought we were going to move, originally 4 years ago. So it's been about 2 years since I've made a wreath. But I come to find out I could hide a paint bottle more than I could hide wreath supplies. Of course, now I have enough paints that I can't hide them from him. But when I'm painting like on a canvas or even a door hanger, when I'm not nervous and worried about how it's going to look, I find it very relaxing. You got to kind of not have that, and I tend to have that A personality where everything has to be perfect. See, we just went in and we covered all of that zinc up with the burnt umber. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. And you know, when you're finished, if you don't like it, like I said, acrylic is so forgiving. What you do is you let it dry completely, maybe walk away from it for a day or two, go back with your white paint, paint the whole thing, and then turn around and paint on it again. And you can do that no matter if you're using wood, matte media, or mixed media pad, or a canvas. You can even do it on a canvas. I'm trying to get better at the canvas because I like the thought. I would never do oil. I couldn't. First, it's expensive. And I don't know how forgiving it is, and I need something that's forgiving. But I do like painting on the canvas. And I forgot where my train of thought was going with that, so sorry guys. Suppose I could hop over to Facebook real quick. Give that a little chance to dry. Hi Tammy. I'm doing good, girl. I hope you're doing well. Thought about you. Sunday we went to Fogo. We drove, what a long way to drive. We drove 3 hours down to Kansas City, ate at Fogo, and then drove 3 hours back home. Needless to say, my rear end was a little sore. Hi Sherry. I'm just kind of scooping back up here to see if I've missed some people. I'm sorry. I can't seem to get it up on my iPad, so I'm going to go back over here now to my OBS. That's what I film in. I film in OBS. Because, and I think for the middle, I'm going to take some of this burnt umber, and I might mix a little honey brown in it. Because I want it just, I don't want it the same color. Just a little bit more honey brown. Kind of make a different color for the middle. I mean, the eagle is still kind of dark in the middle, but not as dark. Kind of like that color. That's pretty. And I'm just doing the same kind of strokes I did with his head, just little swoops. You see, I use a paint pen because I have such a heavy hand still that I couldn't make skinny little lines to outline anything if I had to. Well, I mean, I guess I could, but I'm not really good at it. And I can see comments are going, but I only have the comments on my phone, so every once in a while I'll flip over and check those social medias, so and see who's here and talk to y'all. I like it when I can see the comments, but I just started using Restream. Whoops. Whoopsie. Got the wrong color. That's okay. I'll just blend it in. Maybe pick up a little bit more burnt umber for that spot. But yeah, I like to talk to you guys, but I just, if I leave OBS up so I can see where I'm at, because I know there's a lag. That's the terrible thing. So I'd have to be watching on the lag. But sometimes it's good to do that too, because they say when you're painting, to take pictures while you paint. Step back, take a picture, and look at it, because you'll see things differently. So I think it's looking pretty good so far, because I'm now sitting over on Facebook. Let's see. Let's just go check out. Oh my. For some reason, my YouTube doesn't seem to want to pick up, only on my phone. So, you should, Monica. You should try again. Hi, Angie. Thank you very much. I appreciate that so much. Yes, this is a wood blank cutout. It's cut on 1/4 inch MDF when I used to get it at Home Depot. Then they changed it and made it outrageous, and the quality wasn't so good. I've got to go back and check to see if they've gotten the lighter wood in. And like I said, Michael cuts them all with a bandsaw. We don't have a laser cutter. So Michael cuts them all with a handsaw, and then I paint them. And when we're done, I'll let this cure for a couple of days, and we'll take them out. Since the weather's warm, it's over 50 degrees, I'll take it out and spray it down with, I think it's Rust-Oleum 2 times UV, so that it's protected. I'm going to go back and work on the feathers on the head now. Where I got it a little thick, it might still be wet, but I want it to kind of have the feather effect. Uh-oh. Oops. I tell you, there are just some things that happen. Brown is still wet, and I actually caught some of it. And I must have it on the brush. Oh, well. We'll clean it up and try again. At least I didn't get it in my white paint on my palette. That would be icky. I'd have to get more white. That's the only problem about using your palette, too, to color mix, is then you get a palette full of all these different colors. And like I said, if you're a 4-year-old, well, Ryder will be 5 in September. You like black, and you like to see that come out when you mix the palettes all together, or the paints on the palette all together. So I'm trying to teach him to be patient and let things dry and only use one color. Right now we're trying to paint a elephant, and I'm trying to make him understand that I want the elephant all gray, and then he'll get another color. And we just paint as long as we have an attention span. So about 10 to 20 minutes. And when he runs off, then I put the stuff away. I'm usually painting at the same time. And then when he comes back later, well, once again, and I say, you can't get another color until you finish this one in all parts of the wood. You have to be painted. Okay. I tell you what, I don't own a thing. I used to burn everything, so they took everything hot away from me, but they haven't taken the paint away from me, and I have paint all over everything. My keyboard, my mouse, you name it, I have paint on it. Are you having a problem with the video on YouTube? I'm thinking something didn't work quite right. I'm not really sure what went wrong there. I might have to check on Restream. That's the program we use. Well, it says I'm live. Well, let's click on it and see if it'll come up. There we go. Okay. Well, I've got it up now, but I was having problems earlier. I'm just trying to let this dry a little bit. Not sure if I'm happy. We'll see. I'm definitely going to have to use something in the tail to highlight it. I think I'll work on the stump a little bit. I'm mixing together. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm kind of mixing together the honey brown and the chocolate brown. I want a lighter brown, but I don't want it as light as the honey. I love honey brown, but and this is just artist rights, I guess. What do you say? Like we say in wreath making, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's just the designer's way. And I might not like this after I'm done, but I want it to look kind of like you know, a stump. And like I said, the reason I don't put talons on it is my daughter claimed that I could not draw stick people, and I really couldn't. On the one that I did for her dad, so I had to cover that up. I think this is dry enough to put a little bit of highlight. I'm kind of highlighting with the honey brown down the stomach. And I'll go back and put highlights on the wings also. Because otherwise it'll just look like a brown blob. You know, and I only took 3 months of art when I was in 8th grade. They asked me to, you know how you have somebody sit at the front of the class, you're supposed to draw them? Yeah, mine came out being the same size as a guy sitting in the front of the class. I mean, it was like 5 foot tall. And that was the end of that. You know what? I think I'm going to do some highlights on the outer wings with the metallic gold, just kind of lightly. Now, Michael can cut lengths. I don't normally offer them because I don't like to make him work if he doesn't have to. But he can cut blanks for you. If you see one you like that you want to try to paint, you just got to message us through Etsy and let us know. And we can talk about it. Most of the time he doesn't have a problem with it. He likes playing with his fish more though. So, and if I ever need a favor, all I have to do is convince him a new tool or a new bag of fish will make his life better. So, I don't know how many of you guys do that. Do you go through and bribe to get your honeydews done? I really wanted to learn myself how to cut with the bandsaw. However, we got it right before I had my cataracts removed. So the family voted that I couldn't touch the bandsaw until I had my cataracts removed, and I had them removed back in June, I believe. No, wait. I don't remember when I had them removed. It was January? I don't know. Anyway, maybe if the girls remember, they'll tell you, because Cece and Deb weren't around when I had it done. Anyway, it's been a little while now, and Michael still won't let me use the bandsaw. He said it's his toy. So, wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear. And then go back over with a little of the burnt umber. Now I'm just playing. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make it look like I want. Maybe I should just leave it alone, but I don't like the stump at all. I just picked up burnt umber. I'm also still using the liner brush, so. But it's a smaller type of painting, so. Got a little heavy hand in there. Also, see, I got a little crazy on with the burnt umber. I'm sure this part is dry because we did that. I did that long ago. So I'm just going to do a little touch up of the red. And, you know, Call me crazy. This is when me and maybe I could do this. My paint is sitting over here. And you see a color. Of course, he doesn't leave me enough room. I'm guessing I'm... Whoa! Sorry, dudes. I'll have to go back over and check that. I didn't mean to hit the camera. Okay, let's get you back in where you need to be. When you hit my overhead, I have the overhead camera set. Sorry for making you all sick. Okay, there we go. And it'll quit waving in a minute, I promise. I just really didn't want to have to. Well, that didn't work well. Now I need the reacher. Drop the bottle of paint I wanted on the floor. Michael made me a stand. I'm not even going to try to show you because that would really make you ill if I moved my camera around like that. But I have a stand. It probably holds about 100 paints. I have it full. I'm thinking I'm going to highlight or do a little bit of shading on the tail here. And I'm going to use Lavender Sachet by Apple Barrel. Blue and purple actually highlight white really well. And just get a little bit of that lavender on there. And that could be why previously when I did the first one, when I watched the video, she used purple underneath. Because I want some distinction so you know that they're not wings. Feathers. Sorry. My brain just kind of... Let that dry a little bit. And put a little bit more white up here where I dragged that dark brown up. It's got a fat face too. Don't think I'll do much with that. Don't care. And if this is, yeah, I kind of want to drag some of those white feathers down. Whoa, maybe not that much. And we'll let that purple dry and then I'll go over that again. So I'm going to take the back side of my paintbrush and I have no rhyme or reason. And I actually need to look at the picture real quick. But I have no rhyme or reason how I'm going to put these on. But I'm just going to put on dots of stars. I just want to, of course it won't come up right now. I just wanted to get their take on how to space I mean, no way this is going to look like a perfect real flag. Even in my wildest dreams, I know that wouldn't happen. Gotta use a little imagination once in a while. So, it probably doesn't look anything like stars or like what it's supposed to, but it's my version. Just put a little burnt umber. Cover that. All right. I want to go over and see if this is dry enough. I'm going to re-highlight that eye where those feathers got a little. And, you know, they have like a black spot on their beak. So we'll add the black spot. I know you can't see that, but. And I think once I hit this tail, it's pretty much done. Let's see if I'm happy. Like I said, I will have 2 or 3 of these listed. I say 3 because I actually have 3 blanks cut, but one of them I tried to paint by hand and it didn't go well at all. And that's what I say when I say that acrylic is forgiving. I'm actually in the stages of realized I didn't paint the edge of the tail. I'm actually in the stages of redoing it, so I'll kind of show you what it looks like. I just see I kind of shake, so I couldn't probably make a. I probably couldn't even walk a straight line if somebody pulled me over to give me a sobriety test. They'd probably take me in because I was drunk. You can't tell if I painted the top of the head white or not, so we'll just do it again. And I try to keep the backs. I don't ever paint the backs. This was actually drawn out to be a different couple of projects. I mean, I can finish the backs if you want to, but I don't feel like you see them. So I just don't want to mess it up by dragging a color on it, you know. I haven't decided what I'm going to do about this stump yet. And it's kind of hard for me to see. But I really do think I might be done. I'm going to hold it up like this first. Why that metallic is metallic. And then I'll put you back on front view. Hi, I'm still here. And there it is. There we go. There it is for the front view. And like I said, I made this as a wreath attachment. Geez, I wish I could find my ruler. I think it's about 7 or 8 wide, probably 5 to 6 in width. It's a smaller wreath attachment, a smaller sign. But there it is. I drag. I'll have to kind of touch up this corner right here where I picked it out and dragged it. But there it is. So I want to thank you all for joining me this evening. I really had fun painting with you guys. I would, like I said, I wish I could figure out my media more so I could see your comments, so I could chat with you. Yes, I do put, as I said, Monica, I do put, it's Rust-Oleum 2 times UV protectant gloss sealer. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's like, I haven't been painting very long, but I try. And I enjoy it, and I have fun. I will have 2 of these. Of course, I will fix the spot in my Etsy store, at least 2 of them. Oh, I promised to show you that too, didn't I? Whoopsie. There. That makes me feel better. Of course, now I'm over on the social media, so I can't see if I'm showing you or not. But I fixed this spot. But when you make something, and like I said, if you don't like it, this is what you do. And I've been waiting patiently for this to dry. I did not like the way I did the stripes. I don't mind them showing through like that, but I will give it another coat of white. And then I'll draw them back on with the paint pen. So this will be my 3rd one. So this is what you get when you have a mistake. This is what you get on the 1st round. Let it dry good. And this is what you can come up with for a finished product. So I will let you all go for this evening. Thank you once again for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe and hit notifications, or follow and hit notifications, so that you'll know I'm going to try to go at 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock each Monday evening. CC goes live on Friday evenings at 8. I might be off on my times. And Debbie goes live on YouTube on Saturday nights, I think at 7:30. I get the times messed up because they're all in Eastern time and I'm in Central. So, you know, just check their pages out and they'll let you know when they're going live. Go subscribe and follow them and hit their notifications so you can watch us all. Again, thank you for joining me. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.